history.
We can make that number 5.
Make that number 5 instead of a live Q&A. I think it's a great idea.
I mean, we can, yeah.
Guys,
Yeah. Is that for the 15?
no.
That's for the 5.
So that's when we're supposed to be talking
Yeah.
to each other.
I thought it's like the news station, right?
Yeah, when we're
the
getting our
news
notes
anchors
together.
kind of keep going, and they all look, and then they start scrambling.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. Hi, welcome to Straightforward Real Estate. I'm Scott Gibson. I'm a Tom Ferry coach and a team lead with the Lawton team.
Hey, I'm Steve Dooley, local real estate expert with the Lawton team. Scott and I will be taking time with you now twice a month to talk about the current hot real estate marketing topics and trends on a local and a national level.
So in the next 30 minutes, give or take, we're going to take a deep dive and discuss what you need to know about the market, seller activity, foreclosures resulting from the forbearance crisis, and more.
And before we get started, we'd just like to take a quick moment to thank our partners over at NFM Lending and the Lawton team for making this show happen.
So grab a cup of coffee, grab a pen, some paper for notes, maybe call, text a friend, and join us shortly.
Awesome. Let's dive in.
Perfect. I'd also like to thank the FedEx guy that just came to the door and didn't come in screaming. I thought that was pretty nice of him.
Interruptions.
Yeah.
Only quiet are kind of nice.
Talk about situational awareness.
Yes, sir.
He stopped right where he was at. So, hey, we're going to do this deep dive. Let's just start with something local. Let's start with the market in January. How many new contracts did we get? How many new homes sold, not closed? How many new homes went under contract, right? So yeah, in Tucson, just in the month of January.
So in January in Tucson, in our local MLS, 16,578 homes were sold. Now let's compare that to last year, right?
Right.
So last year in January, there was 17,590 homes sold. So there was 6.1% more homes sold last year in January than this year.
Interesting. So what does the inventory look like?
So great question also, because that ties right in. So January this year, there were 19,003 homes listed for sale, 19,000 new listings. And in January last year, it was 20,043. So that's a 5% decrease in inventory this year from last year.
And just so we're clarifying it, so when we talk about homes, we're using a general term. So homes are defined as 4-plex, 3-plex, duplex.
These stats were single-family residents.
Single-family residents, townhomes too?
Nope.
And no condos.
No condos, single family.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we have a good basis because, as we start to look at how the refinances, and we'll talk about that, affects the market, people are comfortable with their interest rates. People are comfortable with the size of their home. And so it is starting to affect the ability of new homes hitting the market, which just, home ownership is what's great for this country. And it's been a solid foundation. So, as real estate agents, we feel that that's, certainly a positive. So obviously we always like more sellers, but we'll take what we can get. Yeah, absolutely. So Steve, talk to me about what's it like getting an offer accepted?
Okay. Did you want to dive into the other one first? No. Okay.
We'll start there.
Okay.
We'll start there.
Sounds good.
I'm jumping around at him.
Oh, that's okay. It's all good. So getting an offer accepted.
Yeah.
Very doable. Can we get you a house in a week? Maybe. Can we get you into a house in 2 months? Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that's really, we've got so many questions we're going to kind of go over from people that have emailed them in. But I like to give a little bit of the good stuff up front, and that's what people really want to know.
And we'll dive in more to the offer stuff.
Yeah. When we talk to clients, the most common question we're getting right now is can I find a home? Yeah. And we like to be as real about it as possible, and we don't want to sugarcoat it, but we don't want to set expectations any differently. So, we'll dive right into some of the more standard questions now. Number three. Sounds like a perfect question.
All right.
Where do you see what's going to happen with the inventory for the rest of 2021?
Okay, good question. And a lot of people have been asking me that, actually, even today. So let's just start with the interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
So interest rates are between 2.5% and 3% now. and you can even get them lower if you buy down some points. Talking with all the lenders and local lenders, they're expecting the interest rates to go up slightly over the course of the year, but it's relative. So when we say up, we're talking between 3 and 3.5%. Still historic lows. So up slightly. Now, the question is that going to bring a whole lot of more houses on the market because of that increase? Absolutely not. Let me give you a couple stats to support that. So right now, the number of homes for sale in the Tucson area these are single family also, by the way, right off of our MLS, 2,149 homes for sale. Last year, the same month, 3,279. So that's a 34.5% decrease in inventory over last year. So even if rates go up by 10%, which they're not, they're going up to 3.5. But let's just say they go up more. That's not going to even put us back to where we were with inventory last year.
Right. And that is a direct result of the ability for so many homeowners with their, well, actually, really quick, how much did the homes appreciate in Tucson this past year?
Oh, good question. Yeah, 11%.
Perfect.
Through COVID.
Yeah. So because our homes appreciated up through 11%, depending on price point and neighborhood, so many homeowners were able to refinance at a lower interest rate. So now we have people with a lot of equity, with low interest rate, and they're comfortable in their homes. And so, we have a pretty extensive marketing program, sorting through, finding those properties before they hit the market, and or getting them to market. That helps our agents, and Steve heads this up for us, just making sure that we get those listings as quickly as we can.
Yep.
So, where do we see those interest rates? So Steve's numbers, I'm in total alignment where Steve's talking about. I just cannot stress enough how long it's going to take for us to even get up through the threes. Yeah. And interest rates are pegged from the Fed, and but they're encouraged through an administration. And one way or another, we don't talk politics on this, but historically, the administration does not encourage interest rates to go up too drastically in the first 2 years of any administration's term. So they generally start to see a bump after the midterm elections, which would be November, December of 2022. And it's a perplexing thing because, or a perplexing anomaly within. Shouldn't use that phrase, but yeah. in our national economics, and this is because pre-COVID we were starting to run into inflation. The only lever that the Fed has against inflation is the raising of interest rates. And that didn't happen. And then when COVID hit, all of the lenders started to decrease the ability of people to do cash out refinances. Once you take away the cash out refinances, just like we spoke before, you have a lot of homeowners sitting on equity. You have a lot of homeowners sitting on very low interest rates with fantastic mortgage payments. We have a lot of room to move in this market.
Right. So given that all that information, so what can we tell our buyers? What's going to happen to the inventory for the rest of 2021? Are we going to see more or less houses for sale? So somebody's thinking about buying a home right now, and they get up, and this has happened a lot. They get buyer fatigue. They're putting in multiple offers. They're competing to get into a house. And some people are like just saying, well, screw it. I'm just going to wait a few months until there's more houses for sale. Based off of that information,
right?
What are your thoughts?
There is no indicator that's going to say that we're going to have a normal increase. Historically, we've had some increases right after tax time, just before school lets out, of homes hitting the market. There's no indicator that we have that. And February, we'll have a real good feel for the rest of the year by the end of this month and the first week of March, because that's going to tell us how many new homes are hitting the market, right? And right now we looked at 20% decrease.
It was 34.5 year over year.
Yeah.
And let's not forget to factor in, so if people are thinking of waiting, we're saying there's not more homes coming. Right. The prices are going up by 10.4% per month.
Yeah.
So think about that too.
And then all of a sudden buyers are like, oh, well, what should I do? And the answer is simple, right? It's a great opportunity in the market because sellers can sell their home. They have more money to take to purchase the next home that they want. Buyers have an opportunity to purchase that home at such a low interest rate that your affordability index is so much more of an advantage for buyers in this market. You can't call it a buyer's market because the inventory is too low, but you can look back on this in 5 years and say, I missed my opportunity to have a 2% interest rate for 30 years. I missed the opportunity to buy the house that we want, regardless of that price. Might have been a little bit of a sticker shock, but the financing, which is not outrageous because they're not over leveraging the homes, which is very crucial to understand, which is why we're not looking at anything similar to a 2008 crisis, since the homes aren't being over leveraged and their interest rates are so low.
Because they have a lot of equity.
Yeah. I mean, you can get a $300,000 mortgage for about $1,300 a month right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic, right? That's more than competitive for a rental rate.
So let's tell people that, because that's very important to know, because even though you're looking at these house prices going up and you're like, man, the prices are just going up, I don't want to overpay for a house. It's relative, because in a couple of years when the market shifts and the interest rates go to 5%,
mm-hmm.
The amount of money how much on a $300,000 house would 5% be? It'd be significant, at least $400 or $500 a month more on your payment.
Absolutely.
If that puts it in perspective, hopefully, right?
And that changes the affordability,
mm-hmm.
right? That because once you add in HOA fees, home insurance, all of a sudden then it starts getting up in that $2,300 a month range, and that changes the affordability. And so that's why we're encouraging buyers to take the time, and we've got some must-haves, right? And that first must-have, anytime we talk to a buyer, what's the most important thing that we talk to?
Affordability, monthly payment.
Yeah, and to get pre-qualified.
And getting into that,
Yeah, absolutely. And so just knowing that we have to start this process, take your time, find what's right, understand that it's kind of a marathon, but it's more of a marathon battle royale.
Yeah,
that would be kind of what it is.
It's so the homes, and anybody who's on this call who has even been looking online, they can already see that you go look at a house today that hits the market today, and tomorrow it'll be under contract.
Absolutely.
And that's standard. I mean, the average, let's throw a stat out there. The average days on market right now is 10. So that's including all the properties that are ugly and beat up and everything else.
Yeah.
But if the house is move-in ready, it's 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's 1.
It's 1.
It's 1.
It's 1.
And last year, this month it's 10. Last month, January 2020, it was 19. So you had at least 4 or 5 days to at least go see the house and think it over.
19, you had some decision time.
Yeah.
Now you have to know what you want, and you have to be able to envision the home, right? So it might not have the paint scheme that you want. Do you need to do the paint right away when you move in? Okay, well then go buy the paint at Home Depot and paint it the way you want it. But if you don't, then you find the home that best suits your physical needs, and then you can alter the appearance and the lipstick, for a better word, for lack of a better word, and make it your own. And start nesting almost immediately.
Exactly. That's what I'm teaching my buyers is, we're going to search online first. I have my finger on the market. We look at listings every day. So as soon as something hits, I'm going to be reaching out and we can go look at it. So we'll definitely get we'll get to throw the offer in before it goes under contract. That's not a problem. But what I'm telling people when they're looking, think about things you can change. Think about things you can't change.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's something like paint, for example, or carpet or something minor that you can change, then that's, maybe something to consider versus maybe you need a certain school district. Well, we're probably not going to be looking at houses outside that.
Yeah.
So
can't move the house.
Right. Things you can change, things you can't change.
Yeah.
Consider those.
Yeah. We've, as a market, we've been very spoiled is not the right word. We've been very
blessed.
Yes. Blessed is a good word.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a positive word.
It is a positive word. So excellent. So talk to me, Steve. I'm going to ask you some more of these questions
Oh,
because
sure.
these are great questions. Thank everybody who submitted these questions. Describe the attributes needed to achieve success in this market.
So
If
first,
you're, let's say, if you're a seller, let's flip it a little bit.
okay.
We've talked buyers.
So for sellers, attributes needed to have success in this market. Number one is you need a great agent that's going to guide you through the process ahead of time
Mhm.
and get your home 100% ready to sell before you list.
Yep.
So that's really the first step in the listing process, is getting that home, from where you're at now to cleaned up, minor repairs, paint, landscaping, all those things done. And then at least a week or two before we list, we want to make sure we have our professional photographer in there with staging.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Because right now you're going to see a lot of listings on MLS, Zillow, wherever, with cell phone garbage photos with no lighting, because of the market.
And as you can see from the video, lighting is everything.
Yes, lighting is important.
So, and I think Steve touched on a great point, right? How you do one thing is how you do everything. And so when you're looking at agents and you're considering an agent to list your home, look at their previous listings. If their listings have the cell phone around the corner into the bathroom and you can see the hand with the camera, I got to tell you, your home's going to probably sell if it's priced effectively. But professionalism is key, and so it's not just about marketing your home. It is also about qualifying the buyers that the other agents are bringing, and we firmly believe that there are great agents on both sides of every transaction. But there is no home priced effectively that does not have multiple offers.
Right.
And juggling multiple offers is incredibly important.
And making the experience as stress-free as possible for the sellers in a multiple offer situation where you're getting 10 offers in over a weekend. Your agent, as a listing agent, should be able to shield the seller from that experience as much as possible.
Right. And what we mean by that is having a very standard format and how to present multiple offers. Right. It's moving, selling, buying is already so stressful. It's not coming and sitting down at the table with all 10 offers in a pile and then shuffling paper going, well, this person wants this person wants this. It's talking about having it on a pre-written form that outlines across the top, how much the price is that they're offering, what are the terms, right? Just because they offer the highest price, once the concessions start kicking in, it might not be the best net for the seller.
Or repairs or loans and things like that.
Yeah. And we use, obviously internal, we use a form. And, I recently added on, does all the math work? And was it completely filled out? Yes or no? Because if the agent didn't even fill out the offer completely, then how's the rest of the transaction going to go for my client, right? Seller, right? So now we've talked about sellers. Let's circle back to the buyers. What attributes do we need for the agent, for the buyer, and then for the offer? I'll just hit you with the triple question.
Perfect. So it's exactly the same thing on the other side, on the buying side, right? You need an agent who is, number one, professional. Number two, will work their ass off for you, is hardworking, and number three, puts the best foot forward when we're placing offers, putting all the detail, attention to detail and accuracy in the offers is paramount. Because if you miss one checkbox or one line in the contract and you're looking at 10 other offers, your offer's just been tossed out.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, that's just how competitive it is. We're in a competitive world. So, I like to make the analogy to athleticism. We're the buyer's agents right now are competing at a professional level, similar to NFL football players. So when you get to a high level of elite performance, it's the little bitty differences, the 0.1 of a second or the 0.01 of a second difference that's going to make the difference between gold and silver. And when we're putting offers in, there's gold and there's silver is out.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Unfortunately, it's gold or nothing.
Yeah.
Um,
And Steve's been doing a really good job
Yeah.
because I see his offer count. So I see the offers and I see the offers getting accepted. And so, without diving into too many of the tricks, right? Just
mhm.
making sure that you're giving your agent, if it's not us, then you're giving the other agent all of the information that they need
Yeah.
as soon as possible to get the offer written. Making sure that you're pre-qualified, making sure that your agent and your lender are communicating, making sure that you know where your checkbook is or that you know how to wire funds from your bank to the title company. All of these things come into play and it just makes your offer that much stronger
Yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
competitive.
Absolutely. So just to dovetail off of that one, I mean, for the buyers, the agent is doing most of that work.
Yeah.
That's our responsibility and our fiduciary duty to you is to put the best foot forward for you. But on that note, getting the pre-qualified and just whatever you need to do with your lender, any paperwork they ask for, as much as you can get to them before you even place the offer,
Yeah.
it's going to just make it look that much better.
Yeah.
Plus, our lenders are going to reach out. Once we place the offer, our lenders are going to call the listing agent and tell them about your loan. And they want to be able to put the best foot forward on that as well and say, yeah, this guy's got all his W-2s in. He's got all his paperwork. His credit score is this. I mean, he's ready to go. This is going to be a slam dunk closing. And that's how we win deals.
Absolutely. Let's talk about client frustrations
Sure.
and what we're seeing in the market. Anecdotally, can you give us a couple of examples of both buyer and seller frustrations from both sides?
Sure. You want me to start with seller or buyer?
Your choice.
Choice. All right. I'll start with buyer.
Dealer's choice. There you go.
Dealer's choice. So frustrations on the buying side. And we've kind of touched on this already. The market is moving fast.
Mhm.
It's a great time to buy, based off the interest rates and everything else, but the market is moving fast. So I'm letting my clients know that yes, homes are going off the market quick.
Mhm.
However, there are new homes that come out every day as well. So if for some reason you had to work and we couldn't go see that house and we didn't get our offer in and you missed out on this house for whatever reason, or we put the offer in and we got beat out on it,
Mhm.
either way, there's going to be another house tomorrow and
Yeah.
another house after that and everything else. What I'm trying to educate my buyers on is to really just think of it as a process. And right now, the process to getting offers accepted is a little bit longer than it was 6 months ago or a year ago.
Mhm.
Right now, it might take us 3 to 5 offers, being placed prior to getting it accepted.
Yeah.
So I'm teaching people to just stay the course, have a positive attitude, and not get locked into any one house.
Yeah.
So what we're looking for in homes is we're looking to check the boxes.
Yeah.
We have your list. You need so many bedrooms, so many bathrooms. You need what size yard? Do you need an island? Those are the things we're going to know ahead of time before we even go look or place the offers. But know that even if we don't get that one house, there's going to be another one that matches that criteria.
Absolutely.
And if buyers go into the process understanding that, it makes it way less of an emotional roller coaster for them.
Okay. And it's all about the emotions.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, yeah.
How best to prepare sellers for some of their fatigue and frustration that they might have?
So with sellers, I think the biggest frustration with them is going to be, dealing with all of the inundation of offers.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly.
So if you put a home on the market, let's say it goes on the market Friday night, you're going to do open houses and showings over the weekend. What's the suggestion for them?
For the sellers?
Yeah.
So one tactic that's being used, and I see it on both sides, is that they will only let people see the house during the open houses, and we hold them, like at least 4 or 5 hours to give on the weekend. So it gives a lot of people enough time to come see it. Now in a buyer's market, yeah, that might not be good because you might not get enough traffic, enough
Right.
people to put eyeballs and place offers. In our market right now, with the inventory so low, not an issue.
Yeah.
Especially when we professionally market the house, we pre-market it on Zillow, Facebook advertising, Circle Prospect. We dial out. I mean, we do all the marketing up front the week before, So we make it an event, and we're going to get a lot of people over there.
Yeah.
The advantage for the sellers on that is that, again, they're only going to have their house open for set number of hours, Saturday and Sunday, and they're going to receive multiple offers.
Excellent. Yeah. And also sending them away for the weekend.
Yeah.
So they don't have
go
to
on vacation.
Go on vacation. Go to La Paloma.
Yep. Go to Sedona, whatever.
Yeah.
Get out of town and don't deal with it. Let us take care of it. And then we'll review all the offers on Sunday night. And then on Monday, you can decide which one you like the best.
Excellent. Very good. Anything else that we need to add from that? Do you feel comfortable releasing some of your secrets on how to get an offer? Give maybe one tip.
One pro
tip.
tip.
You don't have to give them that many. You're gonna keep a little bit close to the vest. This is right. This is the reason why I want to use Steve, because he's got a lot.
Yeah.
just share one.
I'm just deciding which one I want to give up.
No, it's got to give him the easy. Give him the easier one.
Okay. And this is something that you can do as a buyer. Okay. It's not dependent on your agent actually doing a good job.
That's fair. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So one thing I encourage buyers to do. So let me throw a quick stat at you. 65% of all the sellers out there, or 65 to 70, are emotionally tied to their home.
Okay.
So knowing that, I have all my clients, unless I know it's like a flip or an investor, because then it's a moot point.
Yeah.
But I have my clients write a letter, giving a little bio about them and what they really loved about the home specifically. It matters. And I have won offers where we were not the highest price, not the best loan, but the people connected with the buyer on that level, and they chose their offer out of 7 or 8.
So it's a little bit of psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's being an elite player.
Very good.
Yeah.
I think we're getting close to time, but I do believe, Shannon, did we have a question?
Yeah. Are you guys ready for the live?
I think.
Do we have a question?
Yeah.
So I think it's Constantine says he wants to know, is refinancing possible after forbearance?
So that is a lender specific question. And it's not that I don't want to give you an answer. It's just that if we had 10 lenders in front of us and we asked them that question, we would get 10 different answers with a sub answer, because it depends on whether it was FHA backed, the original mortgage. There has been no clear answer. And, I hate to say this, but if you get a no from one LO, loan originator, I don't think it is irresponsible for you to call a second one.
Absolutely.
And it's just because different programs with different lenders, there's definitely a difference between a mortgage broker and a mortgage bank and or your commercial bank. And so there is no clear answer to that. And I know that for a long time they were saying it was a year, then it was 6 months, and then it's if your FICO is here or if you'd had the mortgage this long.
It's specific to your forbearance situation.
Yeah, there is a lot of specificity.
And it matters equity in the home. Yes.
I do believe so. Yeah, there's just a tremendous amount of facts. So Steve, in closing, did you have anything else you wanted to touch base on? Thank you for the question, by the way, Constantine.
No, I think we've covered
the
meat of it for today. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're coming at you a couple times a month on this, so watch your emails. If you are not on our email list, please make sure and register. You can click through registering on the website, which we'll have posted up. Yep. You can always message Steve directly through YouTube. There's a bunch of different ways to get a hold of us. And Steve, anything else in closing?
Now, also feel free to subscribe to my channel on YouTube, because there's a lot of great information about home buying and selling on there as well. Also, you can hit us up on Facebook too.
Excellent. Yep. Hey, thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you guys again. Perfect.
See you next time.